Oh my goodness. Hey, there are my dazzling drag showstoppers, sizzling male entertainers, and my deliciously spooky fans. Welcome back to another twisted, nightmarish version of Unholy Encounters Season 2. And of course, I'm your gender fluid party demon in control of chaos, Samara Hex Di'Angelo. Now buckle up, babes, because I have one of my close friends sitting to my left because he's an absolute force of dark nature, an award-winning entertainer, a visionary behind the camera, and a very man responsible for some of my most iconic photos. Yes, those ones. He's a
Not
crowned male entertainer, a sharp-tongued reader, and a professional shade thrower with a resume longer than your tuck tape. Make some infernal noise for my infernal one of them all. I love you, Morgan Lashade.
Hi, folks.
How?
Hi. The fact that you called me a male entertainer, I'm dead. Oh my God, those are the lies of this. I'm kidding. I'm some sort of entertainer. I don't. I'm a male, but I don't know if I'm an entertainer. But we'll go with that. We
I
will go
mean,
with
you
that.
entertain with Shade Showcase, so you got to.
You know what? Somebody gets drunk enough in the corner to laugh at me, and you know what? I will take that.
Well, how the hell are you doing otherwise?
I am sipping on some pink vodka and I'm enjoying the beauty of my walk-in closet that is my office.
Well, we have so much to get into. So I want to light the match and start up strong because it's time for some Inferno revelations. Morgan, let's start here. You run Blackrose Photography, which specializes in drag photography, melodica, and you even snap queens from RuPaul's Drag Race. Like, come on, that's iconic. So tell me, what first pulled you into the world of drag photography, and what was it about a little bar called Liquid Tampa that hit that spark?
Okay, so as far as what got me into drag photography, I used to live in Tallahassee. I went to FAMU and I saw like my first drag show over at FSU, which was across the way. And I was like, wow, this is really freaking fascinating. Like men dressing as women or people dressing as, characters. Like, this is crazy. This is insane. And so when I finally graduated, I came back to Tampa
Hmm.
and I ended up at this bar called Liquid. It's no longer there, but it was on 7th Avenue. And the fact that, I could go in there and see like drag performers was really crazy. And one night I was like, you know what? I kind of like Drag Race. This is like back during season like 4 and 5 airing, so ancient times,
So like
long
Willem
before
season and all
the,
that.
the the really ruthless seasons where the girls were like just giving it. And so I asked the owner at the time. I was like, hey, I have a camera, and I think I have talent. Can I take pictures of the drag queens? And he was like, you know what? Sure, you can do that as long as you don't get in the fucking way. You're good. And so I just started out with the girls that were coming there on these special event nights. My very first one was actually Courtney Act from season 6, and then it was Willem from season 4, and then the third one I believe was Bianca Del Rio, and I do remember like crying in the corner because I was like, oh my God, it's fucking Bianca Del Rio,
Mhm.
and she was like my fave. And I do remember her like being super, super nice, shady, of course, but super nice. And I was like sobbing in the corner because I couldn't believe it. And she's just like, "Are you okay?" And I'm just like nodding my head. She's like, "Okay, good. Well, I will gladly get you a shot if you shut the f up, and get up so we can do this." I was like, "Okay." So that's kind of how it started.
So what I have to ask is, what is this special about working with drag performers versus other type of clients? Like, what makes it so addicting?
Um, I guess because you just never know what you're gonna get with drag performers. There's just a million billion things that they could possibly come in as. Yeah, sometimes, somebody might have the same leotard or the same wig, but generally it's always something different every single time, and that's what I like about it. And I get to
Mhm.
see everyone's interpretation of their inner self or whatnot through drag. So that's what makes it really fun for me.
So speaking of addictive, you know I'm gonna mention this one. Get ready.
Oh,
Th-
hell.
There's one queen who's basically your creative soulmate, and in charge of PG Presents, one of my girls, Katana Gemini.
Who? Who
Y'all,
that?
what is it about working with Katana that keeps bringing you back? Is it the wigs, the chaos, or just that unfiltered synergy?
I was gonna say the paycheck, but okay. Now I gotta be deep in shit. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a paycheck, and that girl keeps, my pocketbook nicely coined. But it's been fun working with Katana because, I don't know, even though she's a crazy ass Gemini and I'm, a noble Cancer and I'm clearly better than, those goblins.
Mm.
Um, I just don't know what's wrong with them Geminis. I just don't know. Something medically wrong with them. But
Well, they
Katana's
always told
really
me to stay away from Gemini, so
it's right there in the Bible or whatever. But I guess working with Katana, it's been like she had faith in me when a lot of people didn't know who I was. She took a chance on me. She's like, "Oh, this little twinkish thing has a camera and he has some passion. So let me go on ahead and let him do a few projects with me, doing ODRL, Monsters Live, and several other things." And I was like, you know what? I'm having fun with this. And she was giving me opportunities that not a lot of other people were giving me because, I was just new. I didn't live in Orlando. I lived in between. I lived in Plant City when I first started. So I was going between Tampa and Orlando being like a half breed. So the fact that Katana kind of stuck her neck out for me, and said, you know what, I'll take a chance on this one, and really helped me develop and kind of get my name in Orlando. I'm not the biggest name in Orlando, but at least I'm somebody.
but people keep knowing you every time you show up to one of our events.
You know what? Some people are just that delusional and think they know that I exist.
Well, you've known for taking stunning shots of drag artists across Florida, from Drag Race Legends to Boulay Brothers, Dragula Monsters. And you've been published, like the advocate level of published. How does it feel to see your work in one of the most legendary LGBTQ plus publications on the planet?
I mean, it's been a few years. I actually asked them not too long ago, like, hey, I've gotten better since this article. You want to try again? When my work's even better, but I never heard anything back, but it's fine. A million other people in the world are messaging them. Um, but it was a really great moment to see my work in something that big, much bigger than myself. I was like,
Mhm.
I'm just some boy from Plant City, Florida. Um, and the fact that I was seeing my male work, my drag work, and my everything, not in one, not two, but three articles on there at, some point in my career, I was like, holy crap, like maybe I'm not just some weirdo with a camera. Maybe I have a little bit of talent. So, it was nice. It was a
Because
really nice
you
moment,
because you
actually.
also got an award as well, which we talk about like later on. But I'm gonna bring this up. What is it really like behind the room, behind the bars with those Drag Race winners? Because you've done, like as you said, Bianca Del Rio, Sasha Colby's one of them. Like you also have, like I think you did not get what's it called? I'm trying to think of the fucking name.
Ah!
Yes.
There's like 87 winners
Yeah.
now in the American franchise alone, so I totally get it.
But what's it like photography with them?
I mean, generally when I get the winners or I work with the winners, I don't know that they're the winners yet. I mean, sometimes I have, sometimes I don't. But it's just like any other drag shoot for me, especially usually when I work with those individuals, I'm usually in a bar setting or I'm in a very small club setting, and I only get a few minutes with them before they have to, jump on the meet and greet or do this or do that. So my time with them is very limited as regards to shooting, but I do get
Mhm.
to speak with them and have some conversation. Um, but it's very interesting. Some of them like talking about Drag Race. Some of them do not. I don't push the envelope and say, "Oh yeah, what was it like winning?" Blah 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 blah. Because sometimes they don't want to talk about that in the dressing room. Sometimes they just want to kiki, chill, have a shot, and I just let them have the conversation. But if they do bring it up, it's cool to get their perspective, their take on
Yeah.
things. Um, but I have gotten to work with several winners, including Bianca, Bob the Drag Queen, Nymphia Wynn. I did a small mini shoot at ODRL with the now winner of the recent All-Star season, Ginger Minge. I did not know she was going to win, but the
Yes.
bitch, the bitch brought it home. Good for her. Orlando, come on, Florida. We needed a fucking win. And
Finally, after all that time.
bitch, how many times has Florida been snubbed? Damn. RuPaul's like, you know what? We're not gonna give it to Jules, but we will give it to Ginger Minj. We're gonna let one Florida bitch win it at least once this decade. I was like, okay, cool. Good for us.
Well, let's get into. You've also worked with crew health events like Ice Cream Sundays, OTR, KG Presents, Community Passion Impact. Why is it important for you to stay involved in queer spaces and support events like these when it comes with your art?
Can I say paycheck? No, I'm kidding. No.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I still got bills. And I'm asked, and I'm very appreciative of all those organizations, those companies, productions, and everything who reach out to me because they don't have to. There's other people with cameras, so the fact that they always think of me is really nice, really
Mhm.
considerate. My length of work and my time in the community, they always think of me, and I'm really appreciative of that. But it's important to work in the community, whether you're getting a big paycheck or not, because I'm a part of this, just like you're a part of it, and
Yeah,
everyone else is. And with everything that's going on in the world, it's really important to be involved because we're losing spaces day by day, all across the country, all across the world, really, thanks to, horrible people who just don't want queer people to exist. So it's very
like the
important
one
that
in the
we get involved.
Oval right now.
Wait, what?
So the one in the Oval right now, you mean?
Oh, you mean the orangutan
Yes.
with the bad
Tito.
wig? Baby, even I could style a wig better than what the hell's that on that bitch's head. I'm just saying, at least let me, swoop it for you, baby. Like this is just a terrible ass wooden wig. Like it's just straw. Good God.
Well, moving on, of course, you have Shade Showcase as well, which we know is a passion project. You feature big name queens and also brand new baby drag stars. And I know that it comes from heart. Why is it so important for you to uplift lesser known talent and bring real diversity to your shows?
It's hmm. Well, it's important because one, we all started somewhere. I know sometimes when we start out, we're not always the best. Some people do start off, great and with the best intentions and they're just hit the ground running and they're doing great. Some
Mhm.
people don't. But we all started somewhere and we all need to be given a chance to be able to succeed, a legitimate chance. And if it wasn't for people who saw something in me, then I wouldn't be where I am. So I feel like it's paying it forward. Like, okay, you know what? You may not have the best makeup, you may not have the best wigs, you may not have all the money to get the costumes that you want, but your heart and your talent is there. And I want to be able to showcase that. And also, I said it on another podcast, but too many times I look at these cast, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure some of the show directors, their intentions may be good, but too many times I see where everyone's just booking their friends, their family, and their fuck buddies, and it's like I'm I can pretty much guess what some people's lineups are gonna look like week by week because they book the same people over and over.
Yeah.
And there are people who are trying very hard to get in those spaces and to have a legitimate chance. And those show directors, those managers, those whoever's in charge are just not giving them a feasible chance to succeed. I understand you want to help your friends and you want to, try to make some space for them, but that person's been going to your talent night for 3 years. Give them a fucking chance. That person's been doing your open stage. Give them a fucking chance. That person has improved their drag month after month, increased their online. Give them a fucking chance. Because when you were going up, you had someone took a chance on you. The least you could do is try that with someone else because you don't know where you're going in your life and you might need another chance and being an unknown person. So I feel like that's really important.
It's always important to uplift those new artists,
Oh,
especially
don't get me wrong though. I will be a hateful bitch, but I will be uplifting in that regard.
I will say one of my friends does it all the time for us, and I'm gonna shout her out, Mystery Hugga, because that's my sister.
That's my girl, that's my sister.
Well, we can't forget you're a back-to-back Watermark Award winner for Tampa 2023 and 2025. What does that recognition mean to you?
I mean, it is great to be recognized by your community. I didn't have to suck anybody off. I didn't have to pay anyone off. I didn't, invoke any demonic rituals to like get the award. So that's good for me.
Mhm.
It means a lot because that means people in my community, for whatever crazy ass reason, think, you know what, that guy with the camera, he's all right. He's doing good work. And so it was nice to win in 2023 and 2025. They're sitting over here in the corner, make me feel like I'm important in my office. But it's nice to feel, acknowledged and represented. I may win next year, I may not win next year.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, I'm still gonna do my job. I'm still gonna have fun with it. But a plaque on the wall is nice to have to be able to look at and say, you know what? You did a damn good job.
Like I told you that night we were taking my photos. I'm like, I think you should win this year.
Whatever ass I gotta eat to get there, I'll do it. I'll do it. Come on now. Give me two in a row.
It's between you and
I can hear
Jack.
you.
It's between you and Jack Rabbit now in Orlando.
We're calling him Jackrabbit now?
I don't
We're
know
calling
what
him a
the hell.
rabbit?
I've never met this person. I've never met this person ever in my fucking life. The only person that I thought was the main photographer was either the Savoy one or we have like you. But I never met Jack in personally.
Well, I mean, you can catch him over at OTR. He's very well known over there. He's doing a great job. I mean, they literally just threw a paparazzi ball for him. So clearly, Jack is making waves and good for him.
Mhm.
So he actually is doing a great job over there. And then we also have my mama, which is the drag photographer who I take so much inspiration from. Uh, she's who I really look to because when I was first doing drag photography, I was like, who is this? Like I never had a face to a name or anything. And then when I got back down here and started going into Orlando more, I was like, oh my God, I finally met you. Like, holy crap. So she exists as well. But we're like the main three. I would consider Erica the creme de la creme because based on her experience, her knowledge, and just all around just personality, she's the creme de la creme. She's the queen. She will not act like she's the queen. She will not act
Mhm.
like she's sitting on the throne, but because she's just a very humble bitch. But I really look to her. And then, of course, we have Jack in Orlando, who's doing a phenomenal job and taking care of the Orlando Queens. Because obviously, I don't live there. It's a 2 hour drive for me to run to Orlando. So the fact that someone has so much talent and they're right there in your backyard, is considered a blessing.
That's what I
Um,
got surprised about because when Katana was like, "Oh yeah, these pictures are by Jack," I'm like, "The hell happened to my friend over here?"
Katana doesn't love me anymore. I'm just the filler queen. She's like, you know what? If I need a Tampa bitch, I'll call Morgan. But no, no, we joke about it all the time. But no, Jack is doing a great job for Orlando, and it's important to have multiple people around the state to do things. I'm blessed to still work in Orlando, still work in Tampa, St. Pete. I get to work all over, and I'm very blessed for that. But Erica and Jack, they're doing a great job what they're doing,
Mhm.
and they're getting their well. Erica's had her roses. She been done had hers, and Jack is getting his roses. So that works for them.
Okay, we soaked in the revelations. Now the fire and gagged at the accolades. But now it's time to have a little fun, Morgan style. We're
Oh
about to
shit.
play a game I call Focus, Flash, Frame. 10 questions all about you, your journey, your artistry. No shade, no sabotage, just spotlight and celebration. Ready, legend?
You said no shade, and I just lost it. I was like, wait, what? What?
So, what's the very first photo you ever took of a drag performer, and do you still have it?
I have to say it was probably at a drag show in at FSU. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere deep in a Dropbox, but I do not know who it was. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know who it was. It was 300 years ago.
Well, do you remember the moment you first felt like, wow, I'm really good at this? What was that moment?
That was when my professor in college came up to me and told me I was good, and then proceeded to put me in his photography class. Because originally I started off as a graphic design major at FAMU, and then he came up to me and said, "Hey, you've got really good art. Come to my office and sign up for my class." I was like, "Oh, well, if someone who's paid to actually look after photographers likes me, then I must be doing something fucking right."
Um, so you worked with queens from Drag Race, Dragula, and the local scene. What's one expected lesson you've learned from photographing drag artists?
Them bitches don't show up on time for shit.
And
If
I
you
was
drag queen's gonna
she
show up at 5, that bitch gonna show up at 6:30.
and I will tell you Morgan is right about that. He told me to be ready at what time, and then I was there an hour later.
I was like, bitch, I knew, and it's not just you. It's like almost every single queen. I think I have maybe like 3 queens who actually show up like super early. Other than that, I'm just stirring my tea. I'm like, they'll be here eventually.
Well, what camera gear or editing tool could you absolutely not live without?
I mean, clearly my camera, but if I had to choose anything else, definitely Photoshop because, you got to fix wig lines, you got to pluck brows, you got to make lips a little fuller. So I definitely need Photoshop like no one's business. I know other people use different things, but I need my Photoshop.
I will tell you, Spooky fans, if you guys are drag artists out there or in Florida, get your photos of like Morgan, because one thing that he did with me, those photos are good, but they match my skin tone, unlike some of the other photos.
Oh, 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 let me sip this. I'm not here for this. I'm kidding. No, shade be abundant. Shade be there.
Let me just say you saw a poster.
Oh,
Eh?
no comment.
If you could go back to 2018 and give yourself one piece of advice before your shoot at Liquid Tampa, what would you say?
Um, bitch, drink more. Like seriously, drink more so you can calm down. Like I started like in 2015, 16, and even in 2018, like doing stuff at Liquid, I was still like nervous all the time working with Drag Race girls and queens from out of town and stuff. I'm like, just calm down, Morgan. It's fine. They are
Mhm.
just bitches in wigs and makeup. They're fine.
Well, your photos have made into major LGBT publications. What does it mean being published to you personally? Now than before.
Now it means black excellence for me because I do realize that a lot of we don't have a lot of black photographers here in our queer scene, and so I guess I'll be like the representative of that, not to throw any shade on any other photographers who are not black. But it's just nice to see that, you know, a black person is being represented in a queer scene being a photographer. I know there's many, but they don't always get the spotlights. And
Mhm.
sometimes it can be very difficult being a black photographer, not just in the scene, but just anywhere. So it just means a lot seeing that.
Well, we have Shade Showcase. So, who's one up and coming artist that blew you away recently?
Recently, oh shit. Well, it hasn't even been recently because I've just been watching her just grow. And if she hears this, I swear to God, it's gonna go to her head and her prolapsed anus. It's gonna go to Alice Marie Grip. I have to say that little queen has one of the best come-ups I have seen in my scene. The fact that she is just snatching these crowns up, getting the accolades, the roses, the everything here in the Tampa Bay area, and working so hard and being humble about it really fills my heart with joy. So, Alice Marie Grip, if you do hear this, I love you, bitch. I know this is gonna go to your anus, which is already prolapsed, but still, yeah, I love you, and you deserve your roses. You deserve your flowers.
Yes. Well, what's one dream location for a drag photo shoot? No budget limits anywhere in the world.
Oh, I just really want to do it. L- Well, the Versace mansion definitely is one of them, but I would just love to do it in a big, beautiful mansion with multiple ballrooms and things like that. Just a bunch of crazy stuff. I would love to do that.
Why do I see it when you say it like the out? Did you ever watch Gossip Girl?
I was not that homosexual. I was
What?
not. I
Well,
knew it existed, but I was just not that homosexual.
there's one scene when they're taking a lot of pictures of just all of like the elite families, and I'm like, why do I see Morgan doing something like that with all
I
this
would
drag?
love to do some bougie ass drag photo shoot and have ballroom gowns, giant staircases and everything. Like that would be everything for me. And the only time I ever got to do something like that, it was a very private shoot and I never got to release it. That entertainer doesn't even live here anymore, and she's still like, that's private to me because I wanted to submit it for something. She's like, please keep that private because I guess it was on her family property and she didn't want anything out there like that. So
Hmm.
to this day, it's sealed up tight. But if I could ever release it, I'd actually be proud of it. Even if it's like work from like 4 years ago, I was still proud of it. It's like, oh my God, I shot in a mansion and it's beautiful, giant chandeliers and, massive lion statues and angel garden, stuff. It was just crazy. It was a really beautiful location. But sadly, it's locked up. Won't be getting those files will not be getting released.
Well, it's in the vault.
It is in the vault. And unlike certain presidents, that shit does need to actually, which his shit needs to be released. Yeah, mine's locked up.
Well, you're a male entertainer as well as a photographer. How does performing yourself influence the way you photograph others? That's what I meant to say.
Well, I love how you call me an entertainer, a male entertainer, because I don't ever consider myself one. I've had other people call me one. It's not uncommon, but I guess it does give me a little bit more confidence when I interact with people because believe it or not, I actually am very shy. I will
Hmm.
stay in this little closet and, hang out with my lafufus and, my anime figures and stuff and just call it a day. So being an entertainer, getting on a microphone, talking to people as a host, it builds up my confidence so I can talk to these strangers that are coming into my house and doing photo shoots, and I don't feel all kinds of awkward.
Well, last question for Focus Flash. You've taken some iconic photos over the years. Which photo are you most proud of, and what's the story behind it?
I've I've gotten asked this question before. I really don't have like an all-around favorite photo that I've ever done because they all mean something to me, whether it's just something I took at the bar or whether it was professionally done or whatever. It just means all to me because I didn't think I was going to be able to do this for a living. Due to tragic circumstances, I became a full-time photographer. Um, I lost my dad in 2020, due to the COVID pandemic, and I had to take care of my
Oh,
mother
I'm
in this.
sorry.
It's okay. I've made total peace with it. Things happen. But I made peace with it, and I had to basically take care of my mother,
Mhm.
full time at that point. And photography was the only thing that allowed me any flexibility, to make some money and still take care of her. And I don't know. I'm just really proud of how far I've come and what I'm doing. I didn't think I would make it this way. I didn't think this would be the life I have and be able to sustain it this long. I thought maybe this was just going to be a 1 year thing and I'd be done and go back to like working in corporate. I actually had a nightmare the other day that I went back to my corporate job, but then I threw like a brick at my old boss and ran out of the office. Literally, that was my nightmare last night. So hopefully that will never happen.
Well, that's a wrap on Focus Flash and Frame. And that was a whole camera roll of insight. And I hope the kids out there are taking notes.
You will fail the test if you do not. I'm kidding.
Well, Morgan, I need to take a little ride with you. Hold tight because we are stepping through the smoke, through the shadow, and straight into the swirling mist of the underworld portals. We're about to go back in time on a back in time rewind. You ready for this?
Girl, you can't go any farther back in my history. Then there was light, and then Morgan's old ass showed up with a camera. There's the timeline.
Well, let's talk about where this legend began. Look around. It's Tampa, Florida. There's little Morgan, camera in hand, capturing the world one click at a time. What were you like as a kid? Were you the quiet type, the artsy observer, or are you a little fierce visionary in the making?
Um, I was definitely like the little quiet kid. I didn't bother anybody. I would sit in the corner. I would like color my little pictures. I didn't bother anybody when I was a little kid. I didn't really have that many friends or anything. Still don't, but now it's justified because I'm a hateful cunt. But back then I was a nice person. And
You know the
yeah,
funny thing, I hear a lot from like gay artists that are literally always like those quiet little emo kids.
I was a straight up little emo kid. Definitely, most of my outfit looked like it came from Hot Topic, but I wasn't allowed to shop Hot Topic unless, like, my aunt snuck me in there on one of her days when she was hanging out with me. It's like, oh, you can go into Hot Topic, baby, because your mommy and daddy don't like that shit.
Mm.
But I was definitely that emo kid, and I was just very quiet and reserved up until like maybe sophomore, junior year of high school, and then I gained somewhat of a personality.
Well, we talk about Durant High School.
Ah!
So,
No!
what I want to know is when did you come out and how does your family respond?
Shit, not the D word. Well, one, Durant was in Plant City, so that was the most like redneckish bullshit ass thing. Um, I came out as bisexual. Um, I think in my sophomore year. Yeah, I want to say it's sophomore year of high school. I came out as bi, and then my junior year, I like told my parents like, "Hey, I'm bisexual." They didn't understand it. They just assumed like bi just meant gay. Um, and they did not take it well. I mean, black Southern people, and religious, they did not take that well.
I know the feeling. I know the
My
feeling
dad
there.
slammed the door in my face. My mom made me feel, you know, really bad about who I was, and there was just a bunch of spiraling things. I made several attempts on my life at one point. I did anything from slashing wrist. I have one scar still. It's almost gone. But I did one attempt with slashing, and then I did an attempt with trying to drown myself, and then I did one with pills. So it was interesting, trying to grow up in Plant City, coming out as bi. And then for a moment, I thought I was gay. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to college and discover myself. Maybe I'm straight. And then I realized I'm just basically pansexual without being the whore part of the stigma of being pansexual.
Well, I knew you went to study on graphic design at Florida A&M, but your love affair with photography started way earlier. Take us back to those first sparks. You started shooting in high school, then took classes in college, but couldn't major in it. Was there ever a moment you almost gave up, or did it always keep calling you back?
I never gave
I
up.
know that's a loaded question right there.
No, no, I never gave up on it when I was in college because I was like, well, I'm not that great of a graphic designer. I just thought graphic design was cool, so I was like, well, I don't want to study like stuff where I have to use my brain. So I'll just do, graphic design, which you still have to use your brain. Damn it. But after that professor pulled me in and said, "Hey, you're good at what you do." And I was like a very heavy black and white photographer at that time. I was like, I'm gonna stick with this. I love it. It's fun. It's enjoyable. And I never really gave it up. It was only in my later years when I had other people competing against me, and I unfortunately had to deal with reality. Unfortunately, there's still racism in the photography scene. Even now, I've had racist things happen to me, microaggressions, um, and things like that. But I never truly gave it up. I would have my moments where I didn't want to continue, but then somebody would give me like a pep talk, or I would just look in the mirror and like, bitch,
I
come
mean,
on, do this.
because you have it now. You're a legend. So, like I
There's a
remember,
tiny little trophy in my corner over here that says I'm a legend, and I'm gonna stick with it. And anytime I feel bad about myself, I'm gonna shove it up my ass.
like I remember, like always going to like Tree and like Mystery when I first started out here, and I was like, "Who the hell do I get photos from?" They're like, "Go to Morgan." I'm like, I don't know who the fuck that is, but okay.
And no one still does.
But I will say I love before we go on this next question, I love you and you always take great photos of me.
No, thank you. I appreciate that.
I got a schedule a shoot next year. You already know me.
No problem, baby. I ain't going nowhere. Rent is high. I am not going far.
Yes. Well, then we fast forward to 2020. I know we already talked about the pandemic and what happened, but how did that shift change things for you, both creatively? I'm messing up words today. You know what I mean to say.
I knew the word. We don't need to use it in a sentence. We don't need to spell it. No, 2020, obviously, yeah, it was the pandemic year, and that was the year I lost my father. So I didn't have the passion to do what I wanted to do at that point, but I was just doing work at that point to sustain myself, have some income. It was only after I made peace with everything that
Mhm.
I found some joy in it again. You know, having to do what I loved for survival, um, was definitely not the best feeling in the world. But even though my dad and I did not have the best relationship when I first started photography and coming out, we got a lot better as the years went on. And I think he would be very happy knowing that his son, a black individual, is following their dream, running a business, and being successful. So that keeps me going, knowing that he would be proud of that fact.
He's looking down on you from the heavens, being like, "Let's
Nah,
go,
that bitch
Morgan."
probably looking up because he was a big bitch. I don't know if them clouds are reinforced in heaven. He might have dropped.
Well, let's rewind again. This time it's your very first photo sessions. And I know we already talked about Willem, Bianca Del Rio, Courtney Act, but can you give us like more? Was someone shady? Were you nervous? What's the tea?
I mean, I was nervous when I started doing male erotica. I was very nervous because believe it or not, I'm actually a little bit of a prude. So when I first started doing like male erotica, guys in underwear and things like that, when I first started sucked. If they ever surface, um, I don't know anything about them. They were terrible.
Hmm.
But when I first started that avenue, I was like, I'm nervous about seeing a naked man, even though I like men or whatever. And it was definitely a feeling of like, how do I do this? Like I see all these beautiful works in art magazines and stuff. I'm like, can I replicate this? Can I do that good? And eventually I found my footing on that. Um, but yeah, my early days, I was nervous. I was scared. I didn't think I would actually make anything of this. If I look back 10 years, I'm like, holy shit, I got here somehow.
Well, I know it's not in here, but is there a top three dream gay porn stars that you do want to work with?
Ha! Well, Brent Corrigan for a while was one of my like top gay porn stars that I would want to photograph. Like we all saw him, at least my generation, you because I'm old. That was like the go-to porn star for me back when I was growing up, sneaking on the family computer, trying to hide, ooh, look, sexy picture, and then, clear the history and clear all the cookies and shit. Now we don't have to give a fuck. Or I was like looking him up on like my PSP. Um, which was slow as hell. So, you couldn't download or look at anything quickly. But Brent Corrigan was one. Now, one of them is Hazel Hoffman. He's absolutely gorgeous to me.
I love his fucking photos.
He is a beautiful specimen of a man, and he does follow me on one platform of social media, and I have reached out to him, but of course, he's a very busy guy, so I'm like, oh, he'll never talk to me. But if he ever does, Hazel, if you ever hear this, see this, baby, you got one here in Florida who loves you. And then I just work with a lot of OnlyFans creators and things like that. So I don't really have like a top three per se. I've gotten to work with some amazing people though.
I know when you made the post, like this was like months ago, but remember I told you there's two that I really want you to work with to see if you can get them on. And if Katana can get them on her show, is Angel, Elias, and do you remember Jake, the one who literally lives in fucking Florida? You know the one I'm talking about. And
Is
then I
Jake.
know one we talked about you did message. Do you remember this one, Jake Preston?
I did message him and he lives like in Orlando, which like kills me. And like I reached out to you and I can never get to you. He follows me on one of my pages and like I can never get to you, bitch. But I do love his work. I love a good twunky top that, nails big muscular power bottoms. That's a hot thing for me. I love that. I love muscle bottoms. So the fact that he does that is great. Just love to work with you, but it's just hard to reach you.
I'm still waiting for you and Katana to work with him, like those two one day though.
Katana will get that bitch before I do because for whatever odd reason, Katana gets who she gets. I don't know what magic she has, some goblin magic, but she manages to get, these porn stars and everything. The only person I got to work with before Katana that she really liked was Jordan Starr. And I was like, I got her connected with Jordan Starr. So it was the one time I was like, bitch, I got somebody before you did.
So if Katana is listening to this, book Jake Preston or Angel Elias so that Morgan can take photos that night.
Yes, Katana, girl, please do it. Like, I know you don't love me in 90% of the time, but just
I mean, whoever knows, like you might see him that night, and then next thing you know, he's like, "Oh yeah, can we take shots with my boyfriend as well?"
I'm totally fine with it. I am totally fine with it.
Well, now we have to talk about, we already talked about Katana, but I want to talk about your other iconic long-running collaborator, Axel Andrews. You shot them for years, and the chemistry is undeniable with Katana and Axel. Tell me about the first time you met each of them and what made you say, "Oh yes, this is magic."
So Katana, I actually do not remember the whole story on meeting Katana. I'm pretty sure I met her through Power Infinity. That was a good friend of mine in the club scene. And that's how she and I met. And that's how we kind of connected and we started working together.
Mhm.
Um, we did things through like ODRL, Orlando Monsters Live, and a few other events. So Katana and I have a good rapport doing that. Axel was a little bit different. I always admired Axel for years, even before like getting involved with Orlando. So it was really nice to be able to do that. But I recently started working with him because of Ice Cream Sunday. He was very kind to invite me um, to Ice Cream Sunday and let me shoot some of his special guests. And I'm really appreciative. I've known Axel for years and I admire his work and his advocacy for his style of drag and just people in the community. So shout out to Axel Andrews. Fucking love you, bitch. And I won't lie, when I first knew of Axel, I was like, bitch, you're hot. Like, you're sexy.
Mhm.
And then I saw a picture of him with a bunch of other people at Parliament House and they were doing like a tasteful nude shot, like in the apartment house dressing room, and I'm like, yeah, yeah. I was
Well,
like, holy! It was like him, Chris Van Hooser, um, Natalie slash Cameron. I was like, oh my God, like shit, they're hot.
well, I will ask you this. Are we ever going to see Axel's mother on a photo shoot with you one day, Roxy Andrews?
I don't know. That is up to Roxy. I have always admired Roxy's drag, and it's stunning, and it just keeps getting better over the years. Um, she's just so fucking talented. Like one of the recent things that really stunned me was when Cowboy Carter came out, and literally I was like, I give it about 24 to 48 hours, and Roxy Andrews is gonna have an outfit from Cowboy
Mm.
Carter. Sure enough, that bitch turned a full fucking look in like 48 hours of Cowboy Carter, and it looked like just so phenomenal. I was like, Roxy, you are a damn witch. You are a damn witch.
She
I've never
is.
done like a full-on photo shoot with her, but the fact that that bitch can turn out a costume, a look in no time flat, I'm like, you give Roxy enough time. She is like the Batman of fucking drag. Like you give that bitch some preparation time, boom.
She's the blueprint down in Orlando, I will
I'm
say.
like, no, she's straight up is icon, legend for the shit she does, and she just thinks nothing of it. She's like, oh yeah, I just did this. I'm like, bitch, like this is something Beyonce would wear, and you just turned it out in 48 hours because you know what? I was bored on a Saturday.
Well, Morgan, let's not be modest. You transformed the Orlando scene by pushing for more professional photography. And I remember this too, because I remember that exact post. What made you advocate for that shift? And was there a moment you said this scene deserves to be more documented like the art it is?
I mean, I did it for both Tampa and Orlando, Central Florida in general, but when I first came down to Tampa, Central Florida again, because again, I came from uh Tallahassee, when I was starting to do photography. Um, it was just I only saw pageant girls or Rue girls or very well-known seasoned girls getting photography, and I would see these flyers where all the seasoned girls or whatever would have these prime, pristine photos, and there'd be that one girl who maybe just started her career. She would have a picture of herself with her cell phone in her hand, and I'm like, this looks so fucking wrong. This looks so fucking wrong. Why is she the only one that looks like, like here we got brand name, you know, good style shit, and then we got this one girl, she's just in the club bathroom with the urinal behind her in the circle. I'm like, oh, like this doesn't look right. And so I just pushed for that in Tampa and Orlando. I was like, that's not fair. That's not right. These girls, these performers deserve the same level of recognition
Hmm.
photo-wise as the seasoned, the pageant, the Rue girls, because they're working just as hard. Maybe they don't have all the materials and the finance and all this other stuff, but they're working hard and they deserve that kind of recognition through their photos.
One thing that I will say that I do like about you is not only do you let us pay halfway, but there is time that before that photo shoot I can pay that day of or pay in a payment plan.
Ah! Bitch, hey, listen here. What my service is a luxury service. Not that I'm luxury, but like you don't have to have promos to keep food on your table. You don't. I know
Hmm.
plenty of people who don't have promos that still are booked and blessed, but it does add a level of professionalism if you have that promo to say, hey, I'm taking my drag, my art form very seriously. And I do know certain venues, they will not put you on the flyer unless you have something professional looking. So I would just hate if a very talented performer didn't get their due justice or their opportunity because instead of, getting a professional promo, they took that, selfie in the bathroom and they forgot to take the dildo off the shower wall. And I have seen that.
And I will say that is saving me a lot of like the postings that people make of me today.
Well, that's good. Hey, as long as I'm doing my job.
Well, all right, dream time. From the world of RuPaul's Drag Race, who's the one queen you still dream of photography?
Ah, there's so many winners, pork chop queens aside, like, there's just a lot of them. Drag Race isn't the end all be all for me. Um, and I think one thing everyone like says about me, like Morgan's a race chaser. I'm like, most of the time, 90% of the time, I just get booked with them. I have a event and they're there. Cool, awesome. It's rare that I actually chase them down or, reach out to them like that because they got shit to do. They have photographers. Now, granted, there is someone I'll be working with very soon, that we did talk outside of that, and I'm like, oh yay, we got this coming up. But I won't divulge that secret just yet because you'll probably see it online tomorrow. But I guess probably Jada Essence Hall because she's so fucking beautiful. She's so talented. She's Black excellence. And there was an on-running joke, especially with Rob Ward slash P Sparkle. They're like, that's your fucking twin, Morgan. That's like your better looking twin. I'm like, it's like, I don't know how to take that. And I
Yeah.
stole and Jada saw it and she's like, you know what? I kind of see it, bitch. I'm like, I will take that. I will fucking take that. Jada Essence Hall said that I look somewhat like her twin, her Temu twin, but I'm gonna take it.
Well, I will say this. When I go on Drag Race and I need a photographer for DragCon, you already know Morgan's gonna be there, Spooky Fames. I just gotta be like, Kendall, I need you to get Morgan down to LA
Listen,
somehow.
I have dreamed of getting someone's drag race package together. I have helped multiple girls put their package together and do their looks, and they haven't gotten on there just yet. But please, someone let me be the one person that does your entire drag race package. I just want to be able to say I did that for one bitch, if
See, that's
not
what
the
I thought
rest
it
of my
was gonna
career.
be for like Jules or even Susie. And it didn't turn out that way.
Ah! Listen, I love Jules. I gave her one of her very first photo shoots, but this was before she had auditioned. And it's actually on my wall, the picture that I did of Jules. She signed it, and she's like, "Oh, Auntie, I love you. Thank you for giving me that opportunity back then." Um, Susie too, I met in Fort Lauderdale doing something else again before they were ever on Drag Race, and I've seen Susie since then. We reconnected through an ice cream sundae, no less. I was like, Axel, like I got to see my friend Susie, and it was so nice to see her. But yeah, I definitely want to get one bitch, at least one, where they come back from summer camp and tell me, "Hey, Morgan, I need about 15 looks shot, because I got on this certain show." I'm like, you know what? Yes, please, please do.
Hopefully that might be this year because we have a lot of Florida queens on season 18 rumored to be on.
I'm not saying nothing. Y'all ain't gonna get World Wonder to sue me, bitch.
Okay, Morgan, you spilled the tea, served the wisdom, and taken us through the portals of the past. But now, baby, it's time to take a little drag-tastic detour because you've worked with the who's who of the scene, queens, kings, icons, monsters, and captured them all in the ways that no one else can. So now we're going to play a little game I like to call Captured and Clocked. And that's right, we're gonna about to show you 14 iconic images from your vault, moments from drag artists from the most gag-worthy shows. And what I want you to do is you're gonna tell me what was it like working with that artist, what went down behind the scenes, and yes, feel free to clock a little chaos if the camera caught more than just beauty.
Ah,
This is the time I need you to be shady, Morgan.
ah. Okay, so we're starting with Lydia.
Yes, let's play caption and clock, and we have Lydia Butthole Collins.
Okay, so Lydia, beautiful queen. I will give her so many points for the fact you can't see it in this photo, but she is literally wearing a boot because she had an injury. So you cannot see it, but she is wearing a boot. And the fact that she was doing these photos back to back and wearing a boot through all of it is absolutely sickening. That's a team player. I will say this, Lydia, the fact that within 2 seconds of meeting you, you clocked me for having a lafufu.
Mm.
Uh, girl, I don't got drag race money, okay? I was not on an All Stars. I was on nothing. And at first, I did not know the difference between Labubus and Lafufus. I just didn't know. So the fact that you clocked me within 20 seconds, you're like, is that a Lafufu? I'm like, damn, bitch. Okay. But you know what? I didn't even get mad about it. We took a selfie with it and everything. She still said it was cute, but I was like, damn, Lydia clocked me. But we had a good time with this photo, and I'm glad she gave me her time, and it came out sickening in my opinion.
Let's go on, and we have Ginger.
Ha! All the well, congratulations, Ginger Bitch. Congratulations, Auntie, on your spectacular win for All Stars. That happened because she happened to be at ODRL. She was the guest judge, and it was so nice to see her again because I had only seen her out of drag at that time very recently, before summer camp. So the
Hmm.
fact that she came back full drag, um, and just looks so stunning. Obviously, you do not have to be skinny to be a stunning drag queen. That was a choice that she personally made, and I'm glad that she's happy in the body that she's worked so hard to be in. But it was just so fun taking that image. It's like, bitch, when I last photographed you, you was a big bitch, and now look at you, skinny legend.
We have Susie, the one we just talked about.
Hey, Susie. Yeah, I met Susie back in Fort Lauderdale when I was doing open shoot day down there with my friend Cost Attention. And Susie too came by and did photos with me. And then, just 2 years later, she's here in this iconic outfit. So it was just nice to really see a Florida girl do the damn thing and look so great. I'm so proud of you, Susie. I really am.
Dawn.
Yeah, that bitch is fun and crazy in the best fucking way. She is so freaking nice. Like I didn't know what to expect from her because I had never met her. I didn't know anyone who really had worked with her in my circle. So the fact that she was so humble, so cool, just having a drink with me and just having nice conversation, it was just really fulfilling. And I mean, she just looks fucking stunning. Like there's not much I had to do. Like she just looks that good.
You already know this says it's morphine.
Yes, so Morphine, I wasn't expecting to work with her that night. That I think that was my first ice cream sundae in many years, because Axel had taken a break from it, and then I came back doing it because I happened to be in town that day. Surprisingly, I am not the race chaser everyone thinks I am. I do it when I am available. I have missed many of them, whether they be in Tampa, Orlando, or whatever, but I happen to be in town. I was able to work with her. She is very nice, very beautiful. She's snatched like that. Baby, that is not Photoshop. She is snatched like that.
Trinity.
Ah, that's family, bitch. Believe it or not, Bob Taylor has called me a tailor. I randomly was told by him one day, like, Morgan, you are a tailor. And I guess Trinity's like cousin, auntie, something, but she is beautiful. Like, again, she doesn't need no damn help. And the fact that Trinity has used this on multiple flyers for herself throughout the country is an absolute honor. So thank you, Auntie Trinity.
She's repping up your work around the country.
Bitch, listen here,
Yeah.
because normally she uses the drag photographer, and the first time the drag photographer's like, "Bitch, is that you?" I was like, "I made it, mom. I made it. I got a Trinity Taylor fucking photo on a flyer, and it ain't one of yours. How does it feel, bitch?" Which we just laugh about it.
This one, I know you were excited about this one too.
Bitch, the way that one happened, I had to work St. Pete Pride. I had literally 2 fucking minutes with that woman, two
Hmm.
minutes to make that photo happen, because she was running behind due to scheduling, and we made that happen. I was like, Sasha Colby, the legend, is in front of me. I don't care if I gotta like mow down people to get this done. I need a photo of Sasha Colby, and we made it work.
I have up next, we have Nymphia.
Girl, it was so funny because she got booked at a pageant, and I was to do her meet and greets. This was before the finale, and so I didn't know who was gonna win. I didn't know what was gonna happen. She's absolutely stunning. She's only gotten better since her win. But I was like, I didn't know I was standing in front of the future winner of their season for RuPaul's Drag Race. I was like, this bitch is just in a banana dress looking sickening and shit. And I'm like, okay, I live. So it was very fascinating. 2 weeks later, um, oh, she's the winner. And then some drag blog like put this photo up along with some others of her. I was like, oh shit, this is
Well,
happening.
I'm still waiting until you get. I'm still. Hopefully, you get her down when she's down here coming up in Hocus Pocus Live. I'm hoping you can get Saphira.
Listen, if I can't, I will. I will call that bitch because I live
Yes.
for her.
And I know Anya's on that list too.
I would love to photograph Anya Nerve. I'll call Jules during the shoot too.
With Coco.
Auntie Coco Bontrese, yes. So Coco is definitely auntie. I've known her for years. She has given me the pleasure, the grace, and the honor to photograph her several times, but this is most recent at Tampa Pride. We were doing some things. My friend Jeremy had painted her, and she's like, "Yeah, let's take some real quick photos." And so I did this photo of Coco Montrese, and I'm really proud of it. She's very happy with it. She used it several times, and Coco's just a legend in the game. She did not need Drag Race to be who she was. She was already a name. Drag Race
Mm.
just enhanced what was already there. So bravo, Auntie, bravo.
I'm sort of still surprised you like mentioning this one. She was at Boots and we had did you get Alyssa yet?
Alyssa Edwards.
Yes.
So I worked with Alyssa Edwards once at a pageant, but it was just meet and greets, and she wasn't wearing anything like super glamorous, that she really wanted to be like photographed in solo. So we really didn't do that. But I have met and worked with Alyssa Edwards before, and she's a very lovely queen. She's definitely a lot, but in the best way. But I
Yes.
have not like done one-on-one with Alyssa Edwards. Maybe that'll happen one day.
Well, fuck. Fuck. This is why I'm glad I have those. Give me a second. Because I fucked up. There you go. Can you see that?
I said body.
I love acid. I just want to say that now.
Acid Betty, right? Not just acid.
Yeah, I love acid.
Ah, bitch, you got to be real. You got to be real specific because you know the girls will read you.
Yes.
Uh, this happened at a Tampa gig I did, um, and it was very, very brief with Acid. Very, very brief. I just had a moment with her, um, and honestly, that night was just so quick, and I just like snap, snap, and then Acid was like on the stage. I was like, shit, shit, you know. I wish I had more time, but I do like how this photo ended up coming out.
It does look really incredible, and it meshes well with her like artistry. Totally.
Again, this was before All Stars, so I was like, oh shit, bitch back on the screen.
Utica Queen.
Yes, just so much talented in one human body. This one was actually thanks to Katana Gemini. I will give that goblin credit for that. She had Utica for her one of her events, and we were both in the same gig and venue. And she's like, "Hey, you get to photograph Utica." I was like, Where do I sign? And so Mika and I had some very nice photos, including this one, and I had a great time with her. I actually met her at a previous gig in Fort Myers, but we didn't really have like a good amount of time to really get to know each other or do anything. So this was like the real moment where we got to connect a little bit. So I'm very thankful for her giving me this opportunity.
Let's see. Candy Ho.
Yes, that hoe bitch. So Candy's been coming to Bradley's in Tampa a lot because she's a beautiful, phenomenal queen. And the fact that she was in town when I was available and I reached out to her, I was like, Candy, we really got to work together. And she's like, yeah, this has to happen. So I asked the owner of the venue, it's like, hey, Candy's coming on this date. Can we just take over this side of the bar and do a cute photo shoot? We won't take over the place. We just need this part of it. And he said yes. Candy met up with me before the gig, and we did our shoot. She did two different looks, not just this one. And she loved this, and it's still circulating around on her posters and flyers today. So I'm thankful to Candy for allowing a little drag artist like me to do what I did.
We have our last two. Joel Sparkles. Is this the very first one we were talking about?
So she did a look in a black dress, which was on Drag Race. She amped it up even more. But this is the second look she did at that same shoot on the same day. Jules, I love you, Niecy. Bitch, I'm so fucking proud of you, how far you come with your drag and who you are. And the fact that this is one of the very first like professional photos that you ever did, and it happened to be in my house, that means a lot. And I'm really, really fucking proud of you. I was like, shit. When I found out she was on Drag Race, I'm like, this bitch was in my house.
Yeah.
This bitch was in my house.
Well, we have the last one, but from a different universe.
Not a different universe.
Victoria Elizabeth Black.
Hey Victoria, listen here. I love creepy drag. I love ghouly drag. Victoria, you have been an icon when it comes to this style of drag. Everyone knows your name. If they don't know your name, then they're living under a rock or something. Um, but yes, when at the time when they were doing Creature Feature at Southern Nights Orlando, I was working with her and Opulence. Anytime they brought a queen or a performer from Dragula, they offered to let me photograph them. And this was just one of the nights where I was there and I was like, yeah, I would love to photograph you, Victoria. And it turned out sickening. I still see it circulate online from time to time. So clearly it had some kind of impact.
Mentioning Dragula, I know that was a night where you got all three of them, but did Axel ever let you get Dolly by himself?
So I was pissed because that night I actually didn't photograph them because I was running late from a pageant that I was booked for. And I was like running, 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 trying to get there on time. I was begging Axel, like, hold the shit up. But I didn't make it in time. I did get to meet them like out in the bar, but I didn't get to photograph them. But I would love to photograph Dolly. Like, they are sickening.
Dolly does take some amazing photos.
They do. I was like, bitch, I want to add you to my collection, but it just was not in the cards to do that night.
well, out of all of these entertainers, which one is your most favorite to photograph out of all the years?
Ooh, child. I mean, I will say this. One of the stipulations of working with them in these kind of settings is usually they're not wearing their most iconic looks because they're traveling and they don't want to damage those looks.
Hmm.
Um, so I wish I got to shoot them in some of their more iconic looks. Not that they don't look sickening, but I wish I got to shoot some of them in their more iconic looks. Victoria would be an exception because she is well known for this look and she looks absolutely stunning. But I wish I got maybe a second chance with some of them in a little bit more intimate setting to do some of their more iconic, well-known looks. Very much hoping that a certain drag race contestant that I'll be shooting very soon um, will be wearing one of their more iconic looks. But I'm just grateful for the opportunity.
Well, like I say, if I ever go to summer camp in the next few years, you're on speed dial.
Listen here, I need a win, bitch. I need a win. I mean, it's crazy that, I can't get a whole bunch of merit just doing local drag because I do love local drag despite what people joke about like, oh Morgan, you only like Rue girls, you only hunt them down. I was like, most of the Rue girls that come through here, I actually don't see. I'm home. I'm working on local girls and I'm creating local shows. So I'm not really chasing them like that. Sometimes I don't even know what season some girls are on. I'm like, Google, which season were they on again? No shade. Just I don't
Well,
remember sometimes.
as I look at my role models, I'm like, I really hope I one day get an alternative crown up there like Kyron, Evie, Aquaria. If I ever decide to go to summer camp
I
up
would love to
there,
photograph Evie Oddly's drag, actually.
she takes some iconic photos as well.
They really do. And I would love that. When Evie won, I was like, I'm glad we see some alternative drag because unfortunately, the last person who won the crown who did alternative drag, we dare not speak their name because, well, season 4, we're gonna wash that away. We're gonna wash that one away.
Yeah, I think
We'll
we
talk about her.
have Aquaria, Evie.
The main one I was talking about was the the syringe. We'll call her syringe. We don't talk about her.
Yeah, yeah, I know
We won't
exactly
talk
what you're
about
talking.
syringe.
I don't think since season 12. I'm trying to think season 12. No, because Willow was alternative, wasn't she?
I think she was kind of a mix of both. I think Willow Pill, they embodied femininity to a great degree, but they also had their own spin on alternative drag. So you know what, actually, Willow Pill, I will give you an alternative drag performer because you definitely had some very creative, unique concepts. So yeah, definitely Willow Pill as well. Let me retract my statement. Willow Pill, you were definitely in that category as well. You can do both though.
We're trying to wake it up right now. Right now, we just woke it up by having one of our big queens make it. That's what I'm happy about. We've been waiting. Yeah.
Guys, we finally got another Florida girl in there. God bless Roxy, but we got another Florida girl in there now. She didn't end up being a big bitch by the end of the season,
Yes.
but she started out as a big bitch. We give it up to the Glamour Toad.
Well, now, Morgan, we've talked the gigs, we played the games, we've thrown the shade. But now we have to step into the heart of two empires, Blackrose Photography and also Shade Showcase. So let's begin with Blackrose Photography. This isn't about just a photo brand, it's a vision, a legacy, a platform that's used to elevate drag, melodica, and queer art to a whole new plane. So you capture drag, melodica, events, and more. But what's the core mission or message behind the business?
As selfish as this might sound, just to be a successful Black entrepreneur, we don't have as many as you think in the queer community. Um, like I said earlier in the interview, there have been a lot of racist and microaggressions thrown at me that I don't always talk about. I have unfortunately been the victim of several instances of microaggressions and racism where people will pass over me and people will say, oh no, it's just because of this, this, and that. But then I look at my rap sheet, my accolades, and I'm like, wait, I'm just as qualified, I'm just as good, I'm just as talented. Why'd I get passed over? And then it's, usually a white or a light-skinned person who gets the gig. And then they end up, not doing a good job. And then that person who booked them calls me and say, hey, I should have gone with you, or I've been called the cheap version of such and such, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
Um, and it hurts because a lot of Black people who own businesses, when they have something similar to a white person or a person who is lighter skinned, they sometimes get called the cheaper version or the less than version of another, even though they're working just as hard. And unfortunately, I've gone through that. I still go through that at times. I had that thrown at me maybe a few weeks ago, and luckily my resume speaks for itself, but the fact that I still get that is kind of mind-boggling.
Well, I will say, out of getting to know you like the last few years, you have always been that photography legend for me.
Well, thank you, darling.
And you know I
I
love
try. I am
you.
definitely not the best in the world. I will not act, like I'm better than anyone. Because again, Erica Wagner exists. If that bitch really wanted to, she could take me out in an instant, and rightfully so.
Yes.
But I think I've worked very hard for what I've been given in making uh, lemonade out of lemons. I think so.
Well, there's a clear visual identity in your editing and framing. What defines Blackrose aesthetic and how has it evolved over the years?
I mean, I'm still working on what I want to do with editing. I go through phases where I want to do very dark and creepy, silhouettes, shadows, and then I want to do full on color. So I'm still trying to find my way still, even though I'm 10 years in the game. It's ever evolving, but I think that's gonna be who I am till the day I die, just ever figuring out what I'm doing. But the brand at the core of it is just bringing beauty to blossom. Like a lot of people look at themselves and they don't see the best in themselves, and I try to bring that out, still touching up, still, enhancing what's already there, but making them realize that you are beautiful for who you are. Even if you had a little touch up, you got a blemish removed or hairline pulled back or whatever, but that picture that you see is basically you. And I hope people, when they view photos that I do, um, feel good about themselves.
I mean, but that's just like any artist. Like, if you don't evolve, you just kind of stay stagnant.
Yeah, I can't, I definitely see like the stuff I did back in my early days. It's like, oh my God, this is horrendous. Please murder me. Versus now what I do, I'm like, okay, that's not that bad. But my early
Yeah.
work, I'm like, if this ever surfaces, like, please just execute me. Like, I don't want this to be seen.
I do the same when I'm looking at my older drag photos, and I'm just
Yeah,
like,
as artists,
that
we
was
we
me.
go through that.
Eh. So you shot everything from queens and gowns to now vulnerable male portraits. How do you balance beauty, edge, and intimacy across each different styles?
Damn. Well, that was a deep question. Um, I don't know. I just know how to separate it. It's like with drag, I have to be a little bit more focused on high glam beauty, usually, not always, but usually. And then with the male erotica, I have to approach it a different way because, you know, erotica, you're a lot more vulnerable. Usually you're scantily clad or something, and people are trusting you to be respectful and whatnot while they're in that vulnerable state. And I
Mhm.
always make sure people are comfortable because it's a lot to be sitting in front of a photographer, especially one maybe you don't know as well.
Yeah.
And so I always tell them like, hey, let's play music. Hey, please invite someone that you feel comfortable being at the shoot with you. I feel like especially if you're doing those kind of shoots, if a photographer tells you you cannot bring an escort or it's someone you feel safe around or whatever, even if you have the best intentions, but if you tell somebody that they cannot bring someone with them when they're doing that kind of shoot, that's a fucking red flag, and you probably should not shoot with that person. I always
Mhm.
tell people you can bring your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your significant other, your mother, your father, whoever you want in those kind of shoots, if it makes you feel comfortable and they can sit right there and observe it all. If you're doing the right thing, then that shouldn't bother you. You should be focused on your work. If any photographer tells you they can't do that, unless it's like something very high profile, like for, commercial work or whatever, you should always be able to have someone there. And if any photographer tells you you can't do that, I would just say, hey, you know what? Love you. Gonna work with someone else.
And I will say that's what I got happy about my photo shoot because not only were we throwing shade at each other as spooky fans, but Morgan would not be able to take my phone because I was so fucking nervous. This like Morgan was like, "No, you're about to take alcohol and play your favorite fucking music." Because you look very stagnant right now. And you remember that day I looked very fucking nervous.
I
Yeah.
mean, and obviously alcohol does not work for everyone. It's something I offer, but it's a choice. If you want a drink to take the edge off, make yourself a drink and do what you will. But if that's not your thing, that's fine. That's why I play music. That's why I have people who make you feel comfortable in the bar, in the studio. Whatever is going to make you relax and realize that this is just a photo shoot. We're here to have fun. We're here to make magic. Um, we do that.
Yeah.
But if any photographer ever makes you feel that rigid, that stiff, or whatever, and they're not helping you feel more comfortable, then that's maybe not the best fit. And that's why I make jokes. I make fun of myself. Like, you should be able to laugh at during a photo shoot.
Well, what's been your most proudest moment or most affirming shoot under the Black Rose brand?
I don't really have a very affirming shoot. I think every day that I get to be a full-time artist, which has been almost for 5 years now, I think that's the most affirming thing. I took the most brutal, heartbreaking moment of my life, losing my dad and making the best out of that situation and growing my empire. And I will take that as my proudest moment, truly, because a lot of people would take a death in their family so tragic and never leave that dark place. And I decided that isn't going to be the end of my story, and that's not going to be the end of my narrative. My father would never want that of me. He will want me to be strong, and life is for the living. So every day that I get to do what I do is my strongest moment.
Well, Morgan, we've talked about Black Rose, but let's switch into Shade Showcase. So you didn't just build a platform, you built a name for drag that's bold, inclusive, and unapologetically real. What inspired you to create Shade Showcase in the first place?
Again, I just saw so many shows where it was the same four or five bitches. And don't get me wrong, we have shows where they have actual cast, like for example, like Hamburger Mary's. That's a brand, a staple, and they generally have cast, and there's other venues that have them. But it was so heartbreaking to have all these drag entertainers come into my house, do photo shoots, and they're like, Morgan, I don't know what I'm doing wrong to not get booked. And I would see them like they are trying, they're buying new drag, evolving their paint, they're learning new songs, and it was just heartbreaking to watch them not succeed. And I
Hmm.
said, you know what? I'm gonna be the change that I keep calling for. And I started my show at the Flamingo. And then it moved on to City Side Lounge, which is no longer, neither of those venues are no longer there. It's not my fault. Obviously I didn't shut them places down. And now it's at the garage. And that's just been my message. A lot of these show directors, if they do book something that's a little different, it's just a diversity point for them. Like, ooh, I booked a drag king like in 2019. I'm like, okay, did you book another since then? You didn't. It's 2025. What the fuck? Oh, I booked a trans girl. Okay. When was the last time you booked a trans girl? Authentically, not just to put her up on a mantle. I'm like, look, I booked a trans girl. I booked one of the dolls. I'm like, okay, cool. You should book the dolls. Where else have you seen the dolls? Oh, that was the only one you booked? Okay. You only booked blonde white girls. You only booked black girls, but they had to do hip hop and, rap and ratchet shit or what. Like, I just got tired of seeing that. And I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm gonna do something about it. And some show directors do not like the fact that I've called that out in recent, posts and podcasts. And to those people, I say, eat my hairy ass because I don't give a shit. Those places that are probably calling me out for that don't book me anyway. People should be given legitimate chances. Giving them a $25 bar tab of a booking and saying, I'm creating a platform for you is not a platform, bitch. That is a wooden plank that's about to fall off the damn ship.
Well, Shade Showcase is known for featuring both established and lesser known artists. And we talked about why it's important to you to spotlight emerging performers, but in a scene that can be cliquey or gatekept, how do you keep Shade Showcase rooted in true diversity and representation?
Well, like I said, people book their friends, their family, and their fuck buddies. Um, I only have two drag children, essentially, and one of them doesn't really do drag, and the other one I don't book like that because she's booked and busy doing other shit.
Mm,
I don't have to worry about family like that. Friends, I love them, but I don't love none of y'all so much that I'm gonna overlook someone else who has the talent and whatnot. And they're the fuck buddies. I would never fuck none of y'all bitches.
mm.
I'm happy with what I'm fucking, so I ain't gonna fuck none of you bitches. So, um, that's just my thing. Like, I book who's talented. I book who's trying and making a valid effort. I do feel bad sometimes that, people hit me up and they're like, hey, I want to do Shade Showcase. I have a limited budget. I have one show a month. I just got a second show. So I do feel bad sometimes when they're like, oh, I really want to do Shade Showcase because I'm paying and I'm treating them well. And some of the venues that they are doing things they're not. Like, I would love to book you, but I can't. I don't have the resources to do that yet. If you come out and support my show more, I can do more of those things. I'm working hard. I might be getting a third show. I'm really working hard to get a third show and bring more. spotlight to entertainers, but for right now, I have two, and one of them is just every other month being a fifth Saturday. But I am trying. But as long as I draw breath and as long as I have Shade Showcase, I will continue to promote true diversity, not just a token black girl, not just a token trans performer, not just a token king. I want talent to supersede it all, but I want to make sure that the people that need to be spotlighted are spotlighted. Because unfortunately, you look at a lot of these venues and they're booking the same five people. Some of these venues, it looks like a continuation of another night. I'm not gonna say the names, but you know, if you look at one night and then you go to another venue and it looks like the same shit, I'm like, wait a minute now, bitch. All y'all did was hop across the street. Okay.
But see, that's what I like about like not only you, but also Katana and like Mystery as well, is that you guys are able to uplift those performers.
And I love those two so much. As much as I tug at their straw wigs,
Mm.
Tree and Katana are some of the best examples of diversity, and there are several others. They are not the only ones, but they are two prime examples of giving true opportunities to entertainers. And I know not everyone sees it that way, because everyone's going to have a certain way. Everyone is not going to feel like I'm doing the best. Everyone's not going to feel like Katana's doing the best or Tree's doing the best. But in my eyes, I do think those two, along with several others, are doing a great job of trying to give other entertainers a platform. And not only that, they're doing the best with what they can. They're not all sitting at the biggest, hottest venues in the world. Some of them are, but some of them are not. And the fact that these show directors are doing the best they can with that is a testament to their vision of helping young entertainers.
Well, we talked about choosing the artistry book, but besides the artists, what is your dream for the future of Shade Showcase?
I just want to continue uplifting. I know I'm a shady, evil bitch, and people see me that way, and that's fine because I am.
Mm.
I do want to continue giving many entertainers who maybe don't get to see as many stages their opportunity and their flowers because, again, we all started somewhere and we all had a beginning and we all have a past. And if someone didn't take a chance on me back at Liquid Tampa, I wouldn't be where I am. So
Mm.
I want to be able to pass that on. I know what it's like not to have the help and the resources and everything because some of these performers they get brought into drag houses that have the opportunities, have the name, have the star power, and they get things handed to them or they get things it's easier for them to do the come up versus someone who's just starting out on their own and doesn't have a drag parent that's helping them like that. I I don't want to see someone who has a lot of talent fail just because they were not given the platform to showcase their talent. Because there's nothing like seeing a person who has talent that talent died because they weren't given the proper opportunity.
Well, I'm gonna say, Morgan, I could talk to you for hours, and you know how we get like when we see each other in real life, in real time.
Yes,
But you always know how to make me laugh. You know how to read a bitch. I will say that.
I will read a bitch because I don't give a damn.
But you just remind me of how powerful queer artistry can be. You've worked with legends, you've captured history, you've lifted up performers who might have just otherwise gone unseen. And you did it not for just about the clout or applause, but because you believe this art, the culture, our people deserve to be remembered in all their messy, magical, magnificent glory.
Emphasis on mercy.
Yeah. From your
Shots
camera
about
to your
bitches.
creativity, your platforms to your performances, you are a force, and we are lucky to witness you in this lifetime. And I thank you for being on this podcast with me today.
Well, thank you so much for thinking that this alcoholic bitch was worth your time to interview because most people, when I have a microphone or something, they're like, oh my God, what the fuck is this bitch gonna say? And what is he gonna do? Um, so the fact that you willingly chose that, one, get therapy, get help, get it, bitch, because
Well,
yeah, you
well,
need it.
she is a demon for a chance, so
Well, listen here, I have my place in hell. It is a throne on probably the seventh circle. I don't remember what circle that is, but I'm pretty sure it's the seventh circle. Who knows? But no, thank you very much for giving me a platform. I'm honored and I'm appreciative because most people, when in this scene especially, I don't get seen as a part of the community sometimes because I don't do drag. I get looked down on as a show director because I don't do drag. But I feel like if I can do this while not being a drag performer and not putting a wig and Crayola on my face, that must really say something. You know, hey, I just got nominated for a local award for best drag event, hoping I win. But, the fact that I'm the only one on the list who is a non-drag performer, who is the host and creator of the show, like that speaks volumes. So if I can do it, anyone can.
So, can you tell the spooky fans where they can follow you, book you, and get those legendary photos before the rest of the world catches on?
Just find me on Instagram at Blackrose Photog, BLACKROSEPHOTOG. I had to spell that out because, the vodka's hitting. Um, but yeah, you can also look me up on Facebook as Morgan Lashade or Blackrose Photography. Just find me. I'll eventually, as soon as I'm done with looking through OnlyFans videos, I will eventually get to your best. Hey, listen, I have hot friends. That's great work in the OnlyFans community. I gotta get them a like so, they can keep paying their bills. Um, but no, that's how you can find me. I'm very humble. I know that I'm just a guy with a camera, a guy with a little microphone in St. Pete and Largo and whatever. And I know I'm not the biggest name in the world, but I try to do what I can with the platform that I have.
And spooky fans, if you want to get your photos done by a good photographer or just follow Morgan just for the fun of it, I'll be tagging all of those links in the description down below.
Thank you so much, Samara, for having me. I appreciate
Yes.
it. And not one appearance from my puppies because they were actually in the room and they avoided me like the plague.
To all of my spooky fans watching at home, thank you for joining us for another unfiltered, unapologetic ride through the shadows and the spotlight. This has been Unholy Encounters, where we don't just sip the tea, we spill blood red truth. I'm your eternal haunted hostess, Samara Hex Di'Angelo. This is Morgan Lachey.
Yay!
Stay spooky, fans.
Bye, bitch.